Hi, fans of high-quality entertainment. I listened to a lot of music last night, and it was all good. I listened to, let me count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 albums. That might be the most I've listened to in a while at least. Yeah, so for a few hours I was just listening to music, and I actually need to promote this more, because I was also thinking of doing a video of products I either reviewed on this channel or I bought from Amazon, and ranking, or maybe doing a top 5 or top 10 products. And I think, besides my Sony 4K camera that I bought a few months back, I love it. The other product I love that I bought, once again, earlier this year, are these headphones. They're Philips Hi-Fi Stereo. Comes with almost a 10-foot cord, full spectrum sound, high definition. And I've talked about these before. I'd love to be a spokesperson just for these headphones. But these are what they look like. They're the most comfortable. I love these pads. They're the most comfortable headphones I've ever had. They're very light. And the sound quality, once again, I've had, in my life, I've had probably 15, 20 headphones in the past 50 years or more. And these, for me, are the best sounding headphones I've ever heard. Yeah, and they're open acoustic. So I've never played these when Molly's here, but supposedly, you could probably hear them, so that's the only, downside to them. If you're with other people and you're blasting the music, they might be able to hear the music too. But it just seems to open up the music with these headphones. I'm just so impressed with them. So if I remember, I'll leave a link for Amazon for these. So, one of my viewers, Nicholas, who's also a member and also a Patreon member, he's really been pushing me to listen to the mono recordings that's in my Beatles US CD box set I bought recently. And so I did, because I've been just listening to the stereo mixes. So I listened to, in mono, the Beatles' second album. Loved it. And then Help, I love this. I'm seriously so happy I bought the US CD box set. Because, I will play these once in a while. I really enjoy this. In mono, and I also played A Hard Day's Night in mono. And they sounded great. I also played, now I would say in the past year, like since the very early 70s, I play this band. Every year I play this band quite often. But I would say this past year, I didn't play them as much as I normally would. It's just because there's just so much great music to listen to. But last night I listened to 4 albums by Led Zeppelin. And I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older. Like I said, the headphones probably do help quite a bit too, the sound quality of those. But I'm just, there's certain albums that I always liked, but I wouldn't say I loved. And I just have a new appreciation for all of these. Led Zeppelin, Presence. I think this is it's different than, like Led Zeppelin 4, Led Zeppelin 2, Physical Graffiti. But that, they were growing. And I think back in the day when this came out, we weren't ready for Led Zeppelin to change as much as they really did. This has a more live feel to it, and I love it. I love every song now. I used to not like Candy Store Rock and Hot Song for Nowhere. Those were probably my two least favorite. Oh, and Royal Orleans. And now I really, really, really love this album. And I really, really love In the Evening. And once again, my only gripe with it is I do wish this one especially was remixed someday and bring Robert Plant's vocals out front more, especially on songs like In the Evening. But once again, I love this. I think these two albums are very underrated. If you're a Led Zeppelin fan, go listen to them again with good headphones. And I really enjoyed Houses of the Holy. And yeah, I also, the one song that I finally realize is a classic is the Rain song. I always liked it, but it's just in the last 2 or 3 listens of the album, it's like, oh, this is such a great song. And then I listened once again to the live EP, and I'm so happy I got this because I think they do killer live versions of all 4 songs. And Sick Again is one of my all-time favorite Led Zeppelin songs. But all of these are great. I even think Trampled Underfoot is better than the studio version. So this video is going out to members a few hours before the public sees it. I try and make it 24 hours, but sometimes it's a little less than 24 hours. And so they're going to see this before anybody else does. But my last video was on Donovan and the albums I have so far. And last night, because in that video I said I've only listened to this album once, I've now listened to it twice. And it's 2 CDs. It's Donovan in concert. And once again, I loved this. So good. And I'm so into George Harrison these days. All Things Must Pass, Living in the Material World, 33 1/3. I've always loved that album. And last night, even when I first bought these and played them for the first time in years, like listen, I probably had heard these once or twice in the past, but I just wasn't a big enough fan to buy them. But now I love Extra Texture and even Dark Horse. And I used to always think that, George's vocals were not very good on this album. Dark Horse, basically. But his vocals are only, what I would consider bad on Dark Horse, and maybe Ding Dong Ding Dong a bit. But the other songs, he sounds like George Harrison, and I think the vocals are really good for the most part all the way through. Even when they're really rough, like on Dark Horse, there's character to his vocals. It's George Harrison singing, so it's like, oh geez, sounds like he's got a cold. That's too bad, but I still really enjoy the songs, all of the songs. And this is more upbeat also than I was thinking it was. So highly underrated. And this one I loved even more. I think this is a great album. And it's not boring. Once again, there's some up-tempo tracks on this. So very impressed with it. the final one. Now, sometime in the new year, I would like to do, well, I'm planning a CD exchange, like a pre-recorded video chat with Morris Gautreaux. And I'm hoping to get one or two other YouTube channels that are interested to, maybe once a week or every 2 weeks, we do a CD exchange of some sort. So if you think you might be interested, let me know in the comment section below. But anyway, Morris and I did a CD exchange. I had sent him Can's Tego Mago and he loved it. And he wanted me to review the debut album by the Pixies lead singer and guitarist Frank Black. So I listened to this on Spotify. The very first listen, I loved it. I was blown away how good this is. And I finally got it last night in the mail. So I listened to this, I think it was my fourth listen. And I didn't realize how good Frank Black is. He kind of reminds me of a cross sometimes on some of the songs between John Lennon and David Bowie. But every song is great. And it's almost like he does all these different genres. And he's so good at all of them. It's like classic rock, pop, some heavy guitar work in it too, and some, nicer tunes. But Frank Black, and I definitely want to get Teenager of the Year, his second album. So that'll be probably pretty soon. And, I have heard, of course, the Pixies before, but I might have to get back into the Pixies too. Yeah, so that's it. I would love your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.